desperate need to find the perfect apartment in New York City. Hello and welcome back to the Lewis Twins channel. My name is Brittany and this is going to be episode 1 of our moving series. We are moving apartments. If you see stuff everywhere, that is because we are also filming episode 2, which is going to be us packing up our room and our last weeks in this apartment. Make sure you subscribe so you can tune into our series. It's going to be about 4 to 5 different episodes. All things from touring apartments, packing up our room, moving to our apartments, and decorating, to give you guys inspo for if you want to decorate your own room. You don't even have to be moving to watch the series, or if you are interested in moving to New York, we can give you some tips and tricks. Or also if you're just interested in watching how crazy the New York City real estate market is, you can also tune in to our little series as well. Today's video, we're going to be touring apartments in New York City, but before we get into all things touring apartments in New York City, first going to talk about why we are even moving and why we even need to tour apartments in the first place. I'm gonna be so real right now. Honestly, we would like to find a room that is a little bit cheaper. We are graduating in May, so we're officially entering into the adult world, which I cannot put it off any longer no matter how hard I try. We're only 23 years old, so it's pretty good that we're already living in New York City, but the rent on this apartment is getting very high for a studio apartment, and we know that there are more options out there that'll be a little bit more manageable for us while we're also able to save. So if you are planning on moving to New York City, we're going to talk you through how you are even going to find apartments in the first place. Before you even begin looking at apartments, you need to first sit down with yourself and figure out what you need and what you desire in your apartment. These are going to be your non-negotiables. So a part of your non-negotiables, you are going to be including your budget and what type of room you're going to be looking for. So New York City is very expensive, so you may not be able to get something that you're used to if you're moving here from somewhere else. For example, our budget is going to be $4,000 and under. We are willing to do more than $4,000 if the price is netted down. And what we mean by netted and gross, some New York apartments, they will give you a few months free if you sign a certain length of lease. For example, one apartment may be gross $4,600, but if they give you 2 months free, netted down, it's going to be around $4,000. So that's also something to look out for. When it says gross and net, you are going to be paying the gross price majority of the time. There's only going to be 2 months out of the year, or however the agreement is. It can be 2 months free, 1 month free, 1.5. There's only going to be 1 time or 2 times you just won't pay any rent. Other than that, you won't be paying the net price. You will be paying the gross price. So just keep that in mind when you are looking at apartments that are gross and netted. Some of these apartments in this video that we included do have higher gross prices, but the net is lower. Also, in your non-negotiables, you need to think about things like, do you want a dishwasher? For me, yes, I want a dishwasher. If I'm looking at a unit and it says it does not have a dishwasher, I'm out. I'm not even gonna look anymore. Do you want to have a doorman? So non-negotiables are things that you must have. And then next, you can look at what you'd like to have. Not necessarily deal breakers, but it would just seal the deal even more if that apartment had that. For example, an in-unit washer and dryer. We'd also like to have south-facing windows because we do a lot of filming. So after you do this, then you can go start looking for apartments. We recommend using Street Easy. Street Easy is very easy to use because you can take your list of non-negotiables and your budget, and you can actually filter that in on Street Easy. There's also a feature on Street Easy that lets you look at no-fee apartments. I would personally recommend, especially if you were someone younger moving to New York, using the no-fee option, because when you don't click that option, a lot of the apartments will include broker's fees, which broker's fees can get very pricey. Sometimes it can be 15% of the yearly rent. Sometimes it can be a month of rent. It really just depends on the broker. But on top of all the other fees that you have to pay, it's really not worth it to me to even use a broker, because you can easily use Street Easy on your own and it's completely free. You can also pick what areas in New York you would like to look in. If you know nothing about New York, you can probably research some neighborhoods first. But if you know you want to look in Manhattan, you can click Manhattan. For us, we looked at Manhattan and Brooklyn, but we had specific neighborhoods that we wanted to look in Manhattan, Brooklyn. Also, there's another feature we like to use Street Easy for, because you can get a extension on your browser for the guarantor company to let you know if that specific apartment building accepts the guarantors. Most apartments in New York, you have to have either one of 2 things. You and whoever you're living with have to at least make 40 times the rent, but a lot of us don't do that, especially if we're younger and we're trying to live in New York. You can also use the guarantors company, but not all apartments accept the guarantors company. If they don't, you can also use a personal guarantor, but that person has to make 80% of the rent. And I don't know about you, but I don't really know anybody that's making 80 times, like almost $5,000 a year. So that would be kind of like $400,000 a year for a personal guarantor. If you don't know anybody that does that, do not get discouraged. There are plenty of apartments in New York that accept the guarantor's company or the other guarantor type company called insurance. So now that you have all this information, you are ready to start looking at apartments in New York. I know that it's going to be stressful for you when you're doing this, but I promise you everything is going to work out. This is actually me from the future filming this. Trust me, everything works out. It seems very stressful at first, but there is a perfect apartment out there for you. I promise you will find that. Apartments open up every single day in New York City. Do not get discouraged. I was there literally like when we started filming this, like probably like a month ago. I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna find anything. But here I am, and we have our moving series coming, so it's going to be okay. But without further ado, let's get into these apartment tours that we did.
We're on our way to look at our very first apartment, which obviously grabbed our matchas, and we're super excited and we're super nervous, but we're trying to do good vibes all day today. If like we don't see something today, that'll be okay because we'll look more days. We live here, so it's pretty accessible for us to be able to find an apartment if we like want to look for something. And my dad once said everyone moves to New York every single day and everybody leaves every single day. If you don't find something today, you'll find something eventually. No stress going in today, just like, super excited. We are going to go ahead and go into the first building, which we're super excited to do.
So this is the first apartment that we saw, and to be honest, it was a little bit small for us. I think it would be nice if it was a single person, but we both would not have fit in here. But it did have some nice lighting, but I could see that it could get dark in here potentially when it's gloomy. It had nice storage space in the closets. This unit actually had 2 closets, and what was really cool about this unit is that it had full-size appliances, so full-size refrigerator, full-size oven, and also a full-size dishwasher. Right now we have a micro dishwasher, so this was really cool to see a full-size dishwasher in a unit. The bathroom had a nice storage space. Our current unit doesn't have a storage space in the bathroom under the sink, so that was nice, and also the bathtub was a plus. Overall, this unit was not a great fit for us. The location would have been perfect, but we could not get past the small space for both of us, and also we didn't realize this had a broker's fee before we toured, so the rest of these units will not have a broker's fee. Next, we looked at the Herald Towers, and one thing we do not like about this apartment is the crazy foot traffic. It is in a very highly touristed area, but they did have some nice amenities. This rooftop was very beautiful and a nice view of Manhattan, and then they had this cool station where you could rent appliances or buy snacks if you wanted to. She showed us a 1-bedroom, and it doesn't look like it on here. All of the units in this building were actually very dark, but I actually did enjoy this unit. I think it was a nice spacious 1-bedroom, and I realized we didn't get a video of the living room, but the closet in the bedroom was quite small, but the kitchen was a plus because it had all full-size appliances and a microwave. I didn't realize some Manhattan units didn't come with a microwave. The bathroom was also very renovated, looked very new, and it had a bathtub also, which again is always a plus. This unit had very nice bathroom storage under the sink and also in the medicine cabinets. Overall, we could not see ourselves living in this unit because of the darkness of the rooms and also the crazy traffic outside, but we're not going to give up, and we're going to try to find our perfect New York City apartment. For our second day of tours, we headed down to the financial district, and this was 90 John Street. This was basically a brand new unit, and we would have been the first tenants living in here if we did decide to go with this unit. That's why it's kind of dirty, because they were renovating and doing a lot of construction, but everything was new, all new finishes and appliances. 2 closets, a dishwasher, in-unit washer and dryer. The bathroom is very dirty, but they were going to clean everything up before a tenant moved in. But we didn't really like this unit because it was very dark, because it was really close to another building. He also showed us another unit. This one wasn't that much different. It just had a long hallway. We also didn't really like this one either, but it did have great closet storage. It had 2 closets, which is really nice in New York City. Also, the kitchen was very nice. It was renovated. It had a lot of storage space. The bathroom was the exact same as the last unit, so we didn't include it. It came with a washer and dryer, again like the last unit. This unit was also pretty dark, but it was lighter than the other unit we saw. Overall, these units just weren't gonna work for us, and this building also did not have any amenities. We decided we needed a quick matcha pick-me-up, so we found this cute little cafe and we both got matchas with lavender cold foam. Let's continue on with these apartment tours. First, she showed us this one bedroom and it was very spacious. This was a living room and it came with a closet, and this was the bedroom. It would have been a little small for both of us, but both rooms had very nice natural lighting, and this also had a closet in it as well. One con we had with this unit was that it had a closed off kitchen, and also the bathroom was very dirty when she showed it to us, so hopefully it's cleaned before someone moves in, but the vanity lighting was very nice. Next, she showed us this studio with a home office, and we really liked this unit because it was a lot brighter than the other units that we saw in the financial district. This studio had two nice spacious closets that would be perfect to put all of our stuff in. The only issue we had with this unit is that the home office didn't have any windows, so we could imagine it getting dark in here. The bathroom was nice. I didn't really like the tiling, but that's just me with my aesthetic, and I love that this unit had a bathtub, perfect for wintertime. Overall, we did not like the location of this building, and we kind of felt that the prices were a little bit high for this building being an older building, and she was also explaining to us that there's like issues with the elevator. Each elevator don't go to every floor. I don't know, it was just seemed like a big inconvenience with that also. This has been day 3 of looking for New York apartments. We are still continuing on with our search. New York apartment searching, oh my gosh. We haven't found anything bad. We just haven't found anything that can fit 2 people. We fit very comfortably in this room that we live in now. For reference, we live in a room that's like 560 square feet. We're trying to find something that's this size, and we haven't found any luck that's like in our price range. We're headed on over to Brooklyn today. Also, we have one Manhattan viewing that we're going to be looking at, and then we are going to head on over to Brooklyn. Specifically in Brooklyn, we're going to be looking in Williamsburg. Brianna looked at one yesterday, but she didn't record because she was the only one that went because I was working, so she couldn't record and talk to the man. It would have just been too much. But yeah, we're continuing on with our search. We're going to go get our Blank Street matcha so we can have it while we are doing our tours. Something will come. I know that something will come because we were kind of getting into crunch mode, but apartments open up every single day in New York and I'm not really worried about it. We're gonna keep our vibes high. Before we headed to Brooklyn, we first saw an apartment in Murray Hill, and honestly, we were both very underwhelmed with this apartment. The living space was very small, and it also came with a small alcove, but we didn't even record it because it was so small and there was literally no way we were gonna fit. This room did have a lot of storage space. It had like 3 closets, which would have been very nice for us, but the closets were not enough for us to actually go with this room. The bathroom was also very light and white, which would have been good for our filming. Another nice thing about this bathroom is that it had under the sink storage. Our current bathroom does not have that, so that was definitely something that we had our eyes on. One thing we also did not like was that the kitchen was very small. We like to cook together and that just would not have worked. We don't really like a closed off kitchen. Even though we didn't like the apartment itself, we really did like the building and the amenities they had to offer. They had a very nice gym and they had a very nice co-working space, and the view was literally insane. We could have definitely seen ourselves getting some work done here. The view from this residence lounge is literally insane. It's just incredible. They also have a pool in this building, so we're gonna go look at the pool. I didn't know any New York apartments had pools. Like, this is like a roof deck pool. I'm so excited to see this. The roof deck was very nice, and again, the view was incredible from up here. We could definitely see ourselves being out here during the summertime. And then we went to go look at the pool. The pool was closed off because it was out of season, so we couldn't get too close. We would have loved having a pool, but again, the pool was not enough for us to rent this apartment, so on with more tours. Next, we headed on down to Brooklyn, and we went to Williamsburg. Our stop in Brooklyn was the Lormier house. The first layout she showed us with this weird L shape, and it had little to absolutely no living space, but the kitchen was absolutely beautiful. The apartment was on the 2nd floor, and the price that they were asking for was ridiculous when this is what we were looking at. And this was a 1-bedroom. All the units she showed us had lots of closets, and it had washer and dryer, and the bathroom was also very beautiful. The finishes on this apartment was just incredible, and it also had lots of storage in the bathroom, which is something that we were definitely looking for. The next unit she showed us had a better layout. The kitchen was in a different shape, so we could definitely have a living space. This one also had a dishwasher, and there was also a 1-bedroom as well. This one also had a lot of closet space, but again, the price was a little bit too much for it to be in Williamsburg. Next, we saw this 1-bedroom in Murray Hill, and we really did not like this unit because it was very dark. It did have a lot of nice storage throughout this unit, but it was not enough to convince us to go with this unit. The view would not have been that great. This was the living living area, and while it was quite spacious and would have fit all of our stuff, again, it was very dark, but it did have a nice closet, which would have been great to hang our coats and put our shoes in here as well. The kitchen was very small, and I'm not even sure if we could have opened the appliances all the way through. This is me standing here to show you how small the kitchen space was, but it did have some nice storage for your dishes, and the bathroom was very nice, very renovated, and it had a bathtub, which is always great. And we loved that it had under the sink storage and also medicine cabinet storage. Beside the bathroom, there was another closet for a total of 3 closets in this unit. The best thing about this building was amenities. Like, look at this view of Manhattan. They had so many amenities, like a rooftop. We could totally see ourselves up on here during the summertime, reading, getting some work done. It also had lounge space for the tenants. It had laundry in the building, and it actually had a few co-working spaces as well. And it also did have a gym. We just didn't include a video. The only downside to the amenities was that it's $350 per person up front. I don't really understand that, because I feel like you don't really use the amenities that often to be charging a crazy price like that. Overall, we did not end up choosing this unit because while it did have great space for the both of us, it was very dark, the kitchen was very cramped, and it was not the view that we were looking for. Today we went all the way down to 11th Avenue, which I didn't even know there were 11 avenues, to look at Lyra, and I'm just gonna say everything about this unit was absolutely stunning. It was a studio. However, the unit was very spacious, and it was definitely one of the biggest studios we had seen thus far, and we could really see ourselves getting all of our stuff in here. And we almost went with this one, but we decided to not go with this one because, as we said, it was on 11th Avenue. It was very far, and it didn't really feel like New York City because it was pretty desolate. The view also was okay from this building. We were looking at solar panels. We could also see New Jersey, so we were very on the west side. It just wasn't really giving the Manhattan vibe that we were looking for, and we really wanted a city view. So that is going to be it for our apartment tour video. Thank you so much for watching. Comment which apartment you think that we should have gone with, if you think we should have gone with any of them. And if you made it this far to the video, comment the Statue of Liberty emoji for New York City. Don't forget to subscribe and to tune into our moving series. Our chapter in this New York City apartment has come to a close. I'm like trying to not get emotional right now. I'm super excited to go on this journey, and I hope you guys come on this journey with us. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a video. We'll see you next week with part 2 of our moving series. Bye!